Today we're going to break down a really powerful game plan for teachers in Pakistan. We're talking about how to go from being a dependent employee to becoming a financially independent edupreneur.
35,000 rupees. For so many incredibly dedicated and passionate teachers in Pakistan, this is what a typical starting salary looks like each month. It's what you get for literally shaping the future. But you got to ask a tough question.
Because let's be real, a number like this isn't always just a paycheck. It can be a system that makes you financially dependent, professionally vulnerable, and it really limits how far you can grow. It basically keeps you tied to one school, for better or often for worse. So here's the roadmap for today. First, we'll define exactly what this trap is. Then we'll talk about the edupreneur mindset you need to escape it. We're going to cover a 2-track strategy for success, understand how having leverage actually creates dignity, and we'll wrap up with a solid 3-step plan you can start using right away.
All right. Let's start by digging into the systemic issues that create this very real professional trap for so many educators.
So this is the absolute key. When you rely on just one institution for your entire income and for your professional validation, you're playing a really high-risk game. When your financial survival is hooked to just one payroll, you lose your power to negotiate, your ability to set boundaries, and your chance to grow beyond the 4 walls of that job.
And that brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. You have to fundamentally shift how you see yourself professionally. It's time to stop thinking like an employee and start acting like an entrepreneur. The secret here is to build what's called a portfolio career. So, what's that? Well, it means you are the business. You are the brand. And that school where you teach, they're just one of your clients, not the only thing that defines you or pays your bills.
And you can see the difference right here. The employee mindset, it's all about that single salary, constantly looking for validation from a boss, which makes you a captive. But the edupreneur mindset, that's about building a portfolio. You are the brand, and you're not a captive, you're a valuable, independent partner.
Okay, so that's the mindset, but how? How do you actually pull it off? Let's get into the practical 2-track strategy to make this happen. The whole approach is about doing 2 things at once. Inside your school, your goal is to be super efficient. Do a brilliant job, but do it smartly, without wasting time or energy. Then outside of school, your goal is expansion, building your personal brand and creating those other streams of income.
Think of it like this. Income stack. Your school salary. That's your stable base. It's predictable. On top of that, you add a middle layer of specialized, high-value coaching. And then, at the very top, you've got digital income, maybe from selling teaching resources or online courses. See? Each layer makes you stronger.
And when I say specialized coaching, I'm not talking about generic after-school tutoring. Nope. We're talking about finding a niche in a high-demand, high-value area. Things like SAT prep, IELTS language tests, medical school admissions coaching, specific O or A-level subjects, or even teaching Urdu or Quranic studies to people all over the world.
And this same strategic thinking applies to your qualifications. The standard path is, a local B.Ed or M.Ed, but the strategic path? That's about getting certifications that are recognized globally, from Cambridge, the International Baccalaureate, or even Google. These are the credentials that unlock the doors to elite, higher-paying schools.
Now let's tie all this money talk and strategy back to what really matters on a human level: professional respect and dignity.
So check out this chart. It shows a situation where only 40% of your income comes from your own independent work. Now, 40% might not seem like the majority, but let me tell you, that 40% completely flips the power dynamic between you and your employer.
Because that 40%, that is your leverage. It's your safety net. It is your freedom. It's what gives you the power to say no to unpaid overtime, to push back against disrespect, and to demand to be treated like the valuable professional you are because you're no longer desperate. And right now, there are 2 huge global opportunities just waiting for you. First is what's called the dollar arbitrage. Platforms like Preply let you teach students abroad and earn in dollars, which is a total game changer. Second, the AI revolution. If you can master tools like ChatGPT and Canva, you become incredibly efficient and way more valuable. That puts you on the fast track. So, what can you do right now? This brings us to the final part, a simple, actionable plan to get you started immediately.
Here it is. 3 simple steps. Number 1, audit your brand. Get a professional LinkedIn profile. Seriously, if you don't exist online, you're invisible to better opportunities. Number 2, niche down.
Stop being a jack of all trades and become the expert for something specific. Specialists always get paid more. And 3, invest in an exit ticket. Learn a valuable skill like curriculum design that can give you career options beyond just classroom teaching.
I really want this to sink in. Your expertise, your passion, your knowledge, that is your single most valuable asset. This whole strategy is about making sure that you, not just one employer, are the one who gets to decide what that asset is worth on the open market.
And we'll end with this powerful thought. Look, in today's world, this isn't about being greedy. It's about survival, it's about dignity, and it's about professional self-respect. Your greatness deserves to be shared with and valued by more than just one client. So the question is, what's the first step you're going to take?